Hey friends, thank you so much for watching. Stacy here with Low Carb Life, and in today's video we are making low carb, gluten-free pancakes. Now you may have noticed our kitchen is a little different today, and that's because we are currently staying in one of our favorite cabins just outside of the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. And if you've ever been to Gatlinburg, you know that pretty much on every corner you're going to find any type of pancake cabin house you want to visit. They've got pancakes, flapjacks, hotcakes, whatever you want to call them, pretty much on every corner. So I thought it would be fun for us to make our version of pancakes, again, low carb and gluten-free. I stopped by the local Mountain Brothers General Store. What's great about the Gatlinburg area is they have all these fun little country stores. You can find all kinds of little knickknacks and little bears and just all kinds of souvenirs there. But I always love to pick up like their apple butter, which I picked up today. I also picked up some peach jam, and what I did was I made sure to pick up the no sugar added. So in this apple butter, it pretty much only has 4 carbs and 3 grams of sugar. And the same thing with the blackberry jam as well. Again, making sure that I picked up anything that said no sugar added. So it makes a big difference, trying to watch the sugar and the carbs and everything. So, alrighty friends, for today's ingredients, we are going to need 2 cups of almond flour. Now you want to make sure you're using almond flour. Let me bring that in nice and close for you. Let that focus there. But you want to make sure that you're using almond flour and not almond meal. Almond meal. Oh yeah, that is right. All right. But almond flour is basically they take the almonds, they blanch them in boiled water to peel off the skins, and then they grind the almonds down so you have a nice fine flour. This is great for baking. Almond meal is when they take the entire almond and grind it up so you have more of a coarser type of texture, more like a cornmeal. So whenever you're baking, you always want to use almond flour. We're also going to use 1 tablespoon of oil, and because we are on vacation, I don't have all my normal stuff with me, so we're using MCT oil because this is basically what my husband had packed. So, alrighty, what else are we going to need? We're going to need 4 eggs, and we're going to need about 8 tablespoons of melted butter, which I already have right here, and then about a teaspoon of vanilla. So I'm gonna whisk these, or actually break up these eggs, whisk them, add them into our bowl. Love visiting the cabins. We are actually, I'm not sure if I mentioned, but my husband and I are wedding photographers. He's a wedding videographer, and we usually shoot weddings mainly in South Florida, but we do travel to Tennessee from time to time to photograph weddings as well. And we were in the Gatlinburg area because we had a wedding that we photographed yesterday. We had an engagement shoot in Cades Cove, which is located inside the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, on Friday. So it's been a very busy week, and I'm just excited to make these pancakes for you guys, and yeah, just kind of share a little bit of what we've been up to this past week. So, all right, 4 eggs. Let's crack these eggs. I have my eggs all whipped up right here. Now I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon of oil. We're going to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla. All right, we have all of our wet ingredients mixed up. Now we're going to add this right into our almond flour. I'm just going to add in a little bit at a time and give this a good mix. So we've been coming to the cabin, staying in this particular area since our kids were little, back in 2004. And just staying in these cabins have great memories for us. It's always great, you know, to book a cabin, stay here for a few days, and venture out into the Great National Park. We love, like I mentioned earlier, Cades Cove. If you're not familiar with Cades Cove, I highly recommend checking that out. It is located in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. It's an 11-mile loop ride, so one-way road. It's about 11 miles long, and it's just a great way to really take in the scenery, the mountain views. You go down in the valley, and a lot of times you'll be able to view wildlife as well too. See deer, wild turkeys, maybe some bears if you're lucky. Yesterday's wedding was actually outside of a cabin. They had rented this big 10-bedroom 10 bath cabin. It was huge. It even had an indoor theater and an indoor pool. And towards the end of the evening, around 6 o'clock, there was a bear that ventured out and just kind of walking around, sniffing around because all the food was out on display. Everybody got a kick out of that, just watching him. And he just was like sniffing in the air and then kind of made his way back into the woods. It was a lot of fun. Right, we want to give this a good mix all these ingredients together. And to make sure everything's mixed together, I'm actually going to use a hand mixer. All right, I got those started so that way I don't have any of the batter flying everywhere. All right, so for this particular recipe, your batter is going to be thick. If you prefer a thinner pancake, then you can add a little bit of water. I would recommend starting out with maybe 1 to 2 tablespoons and just add a little bit at a time because you don't want to make the pancakes too thin. And if that happens, basically you're just going to add in a little bit more almond flour just to fix that. Now, what I love about the almond flour is in a 1/4 cup of almond flour, there are only 3 net carbs, as opposed to a 1/4 cup of white processed flour, there are actually 24 carbs. Not to mention there's a lot of vitamins and nutrients in almond flour, and it's gluten-free. Lots of flavor too. All right, I got my pan on medium heat. We're gonna add in some butter here just to kind of make sure our pancakes don't stick. And because these pancakes are gluten-free, they're not gonna bubble up like your traditional pancake would. You may get a couple bubbles, but what you're going to do is you're going to watch the ends of the pancake, and as you see it start to brown and kind of tighten up, then you'll know it's safe to start flipping her over. What I love most about staying in these cabins is they come fully equipped. They have everything you need in your kitchen, your coffee maker, all your utensils, your plates, blenders, mixers. So pretty much all you have to do is stop by the store, pick up all your favorite foods, and you have everything available to you for cooking and whatnot. I always recommend bringing seasoning. So what I did was I brought my own salt and pepper. We did bring our own olive oil and our own coffee as well. But other than that, everything is fully, your kitchen's fully stocked with all your utensils. All right, so now it's time to start cooking our pancakes. We're gonna give a nice little dollop there. And this should make about 10 pancakes, about dollar size. We're gonna cook 3 at a time. Alrighty, but those are nice and thick. Like I said, look at that nice thick batter. And if you wanna water it down or thin it out a little bit, just add a little bit of water. So I think we're gonna do that here as well. Just gonna add a little bit of water to my batter just to thin it out. So I'm just going to start out with 1 tablespoon. Give this a good mix while these pancakes are cooking over here. Oh, they're starting to look good. All right. Now I only added in 1 tablespoon of water and look how thinner that is. Yeah, so definitely want to start out with a little bit at a time. We're waiting for our pancakes to be ready to be flipped. I'll tell you a little bit about our cabin. The cabin we're staying at is located in the Preserve, which is in Sevierville, Tennessee, just outside of the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. We're actually located in Wares Valley off Highway 321. What we love about this location is that the cabins, oh my goodness, you have such amazing views. They're high up in the mountain. You're not far from the back entrance or a side entrance into the Great National Park. And like I mentioned earlier, we've been coming to this particular area since about 2004 when our kids were little, and we just have some great memories of making pancakes, hiking through the national park, and spending some great family time in the cabins. And it's one of our, we like to refer to being in Gatlinburg as like our second home, so we like being up here. It's about early October now, so we're starting to see the leaves change, which is really pretty. And if you head up to the higher elevations, closer to Clingman's Dome, which is the highest mountain peak in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, you'll get a lot of the fall foliage going on right now, and it's just absolutely beautiful. All right, our pancakes are about ready to flip. I see them kind of getting tight on the sides and just kind of staying all together. So let's give these guys a flip. Perfect, guys, just like that. You want your pancake to look just like that. As you notice, there aren't all those little bubbles, but we're gonna give her a flip. Woo! And let's flip these other two as well. We're finishing up these pancakes. Let me show you a couple of the jams I picked up. I picked up a peach jam. We also picked up an apple butter, which I think I'm gonna top my pancakes with some apple butter. I was looking at the syrups they had, and they had some fresh Vermont syrup and fresh maple syrup, but it had like 34 grams of sugar in 1 tablespoon. I could not bring myself to buy that. I was like, no, there's just too much sugar, too much. I just couldn't. So you know what? I settled with the apple butter, the peach jam, and the blackberry jam, and I figured, you know what? I'll just warm this up a little bit, pour it right over the pancakes, and we got perfection. Look at this stack of pancakes. Let me come in closer to show you guys. But look at that beautiful color. Look how thick that is. Oh my goodness, these look amazing. Check those out. I cannot wait to butter these up and give them a taste. A little bit of our apple butter. I'm going to add it into our warm pan. I'll turn this stove off. I'm just going to add this into our warm pan just to kind of warm it up. Let's take about a good couple teaspoons there of nice apple butter. Yeah, listen to that sizzle. And this is just warming it up. Woo, it's splattering everywhere. But this is just gonna warm it up so we can pour it right over our pancakes. Our butter's slipping right off. Oh my goodness, look at this. Check this out, guys. Look at that. Nice apple butter right on top of those pancakes. I cannot wait to take a bite out of this. Let me bring in closer. But look how beautiful they look with that apple butter. Doesn't that look tasty? Delicious? All right, now for the taste test, my favorite part. These are so tasty. Oh my goodness, these are really good. So good. And what's great is that they're buttery. That apple butter brings out the sweetness, and they're gluten-free. You cannot beat that. Well, friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.